Hey guys, I'm Jose and this is the first tutorial of the Python series. Um, so we will be looking at Python for Rhino 5. I was waiting for the Rhino 5 to get released, but it seems that lots of people are actually working with Rhino 5 already with the beta version. So if you have that version and you're willing to learn some Python scripts, this is where I'm going to start posting the tutorials. So having your Rhino 5 open, you can get Rhino 5 as a beta version if you have purchased Rhino 4. Even educational version, it will give you access to the Rhino 5 version, right? So let's dive into the Python script. We're gonna call the command here edit Python script, and that would bring this new window. This new window, if you're familiar with Rhino 4 and VBScript, it's equivalent to the monkey editor somehow. It allows us to debug, and basically it's an IDE for scripting and storing our scripts as well. So it's a great inbuilt interface to actually develop our code. So Python should be already running for us. We're gonna do a little check. Print hello world, and we're gonna run that, and we're gonna see that here in the command we have the output of that script, hello world, so that's running, and you'll see that also here up here it's been printed. So basically what we're calling through this script is a series of commands that would get executed for Rhino. We're gonna see how to use geometry that is already present in the canvas or like in the workspace. Eventually we'll see how to just build your own little plugin with the .NET framework and many other things. Especially the most interesting stuff for me is the fact that Python is actually an object-oriented programming language, which makes things more easy, I would say, at least for me, and definitely more interesting if you're developing code for a while. It allows to just store and reuse the code in a much powerful way. Also, the way in which you design with object-oriented programming starts changing. The way you're thinking about how objects interact and how entities start relating to each other. So let's see a little bit of the functions of Python. There's a few different things than from other programming languages. If you're following some of the processing tutorials that I've been doing, you'll notice a lot of differences, but nothing really difficult to kind of grasp. So Python doesn't need to specify what kind of variables, what type of variable is, right? So in other scripting languages we would have to define, let's say, an integer, a float, if we want an integer number or a decimal number, or if it's a string we would have to specify that as well. So here Python doesn't really enforce us to do that, right? So we can say something like x equals 10, y equals 0.5, and those two variables would work. At the same time we could say name equals Jose, and that those variables are perfectly valid, right? I mean, at this point we're not doing anything with them, but that's fine, right? We don't need to specify what type of variable a variable is. We don't need a semicolon or parentheses, anything here. Python is quite a clean and elegant language in that extent. What I do actually like is to specify, just to know myself, like what is inside a variable. It's what kind of variable it is in the name of the variable. This is just out of practice. It's just something that I like doing, but it's not required. So, and in many cases you will be putting variables like d or whatever, but I really recommend that you can use, let's say, float or double for decimals, right? And you're specifying what kind of variable you're working with, so then you don't get confused when you're working with the code. So str name, right? So we can do simple operations like print, I'm gonna print that plus this one, and we'll see that that's fine. Python is running. We have no problem with it. It's actually doing the operations that we are asking for. So in the next tutorial, we're going to see how to just start using some of the Rhino commands and dive right into some geometry and start producing stuff into the workspace.